Okay, so if you follow a previous video, we now have a working Python environment. And we actually have a Python editor that is part of Anaconda distribution available for us. So it's called Spyder. Not really recommending that we use Spyder or that you use Spyder for Python development, but I think it's appropriate just to run it once and see how it works, just to get a feel of what Python as a programming language, together with all the available libraries, is capable of. So everything about Spyder is written in Python, so that you will see that it's quite capable development environment. Although, of course, cannot compare to, let's say, more professional development environments for different programming languages, as well as for Python, as we'll see later on. But nevertheless, Spyder, it's there, so it does not really, you don't need to install anything else to have a working Python development environment. Anyway, it's rather slow, as you can see, at least on my machine, which is more or less a virtual machine running on in a virtual box, but this is something completely different. It's not intended to be discussed for this video. But let's just wait until Spyder is fully installed and configured. So we'll see how actually works. Okay, so we have a 3 panes in this window. So on the left hand side you have a kind of an open temporary Python file. You have some help window on top right hand side, and on the left, on the right bottom, you have a IPython console. IPython we actually tested in the previous video for running this interactive shell. This is actually used for running your file. So for example, let's write the same few lines for R and print R like this, and if we run this, we should see the end result here on the right hand side at the bottom. So running this file, temporary file, is just either pressing F5 on a keyboard or pressing this command on a toolbar. So we should run it, and as you can see, you actually get back the results of 10. Okay, all nice, but as we said, we will not use Spyder, but something else. So if you want to get something very, very simple, a very basic text editor that is also capable of helping you a little bit in developments of Python scripts or R scripts or any kind of text editing, you can actually go and search for Notepad++, which is a very standard Windows program. It's free again, and you can of course download it, and you basically use it for writing these Python scripts. So let's download this one. Okay, download. We should actually download this one. That's again pressing the wrong installation. We should download this 64-bit version. Although 32-bit version should work also, but it's better to have this 64. It's okay, so we have a slight problem. Let's see. Let's just check the... Okay, so we actually will get something. Okay, so this is it. Let's just run this installation file. Selecting language, going through this normal steps of license agreement, location, what should install. Let's leave it as default. We don't need a desktop shortcut, and we should just install it. It should be fairly quick install. Okay, so run Notepad++. Okay, so this should be this window of Notepad++. You can write then or use it for normal text editing purposes. Of course, it's much more powerful than the Notepad application that comes with Windows operating system. It's actually a kind of a develop-oriented text editor. So we could actually write a short application here. Let's just write the same one that we used for kind of testing the Python environment. So we should write r equals 10, and let's print this value like this. Okay, so file, save as, let's just put it on desktop. Let's call it test. What you should be careful of, it's that Python scripts or Python applications have the Py as extension, file extension. This actually do have a purpose, as with this extension Notepad++ actually recognizes that you're writing Python application, and it tries to help you a little bit with this whole coloring and a little bit of help that you can also have. Okay, so this is an application, but if you want to run it, you can of course run it from the command line. So let's start the command line from Anaconda prompt. This is it. We'll have to go to the desktop folder. So cd, like cd stands for change directory, desktop. And if we list the directory, current directory with command dir, we actually have this test.py application. So to run it, you should write Python space test.py, like this. Very simple. Press enter, and of course you get back the only result as before of 10. Okay, so this is you know very normal kind of environment. What I tend to do is actually have it like this, and you basically developed on left hand side, write application, save it, go to the right hand side window and run the application there and see the results. So this is one way of working. Okay, it's very kind of very bare bones. It's you don't have that much help towards your Python developments. So let's try something else. Let's just quit all this and again go to start your browser and search for an application that is called Visual Studio Code. Let's just wait for Google. Like this. So this is a general purpose development environment. It's developed by Microsoft. It's free, of course, as all the tools that we mentioned in this video. So Visual Studio Code. Go there and let's download the latest Visual Studio Code distribution. So just press this button where it says download for Windows, stable build. Okay. So hopefully this will actually work as expected. Okay, so it's downloading. There are a couple of more seconds and we now have Visual Studio Code user setup. So let's just start this installation. Again, agreeing to different licenses, leaving the default path for installation, and all these things. Don't have to create desktop, just leave it as is and hit install. So what you get is actually, as I've said, general purpose development environment, and to enable this editor to help you writing this Python or any other scripts or programs in different programming languages, we'll have to install an extension that helps you with Python development. It should be up and running, Visual Studio Code, in just a couple of seconds. In the meantime, we can, of course, clear our desktop a little bit, and again, the first time you install Visual Studio Code, it does have to configure itself a little bit, so it takes a little bit more time than otherwise. Okay, so this is Visual Studio Code. You can start researching, doing different things in here, but the first thing that we will actually do is to install an extension. So on the left hand side you have at the bottom command is or folder is actually it's extensions, and the first extension in this section popular is actually a Python environment. So let's just hit this install. It will download the installation, install it, and we will have a complete Python environment inside Visual Studio Code that we will use for our Python developments. Okay, so this is installed. Let's just try it. Let's start a new file. or open a new file, or open this test.py file. So file, open, go to desktop, this one, open, and we have a okay, just do it again. So open file, test.py, open. So Visual Stowe Code actually recommends to install additional extensions. And as soon as we have this, we can start this Python script that we tested before by just clicking this button. So running in this the terminal, you should see that is running this script test.py, and we actually get this result. Of course, as I've clicked several times because I was not certain that it actually worked, I got a couple of results back. So if I try that again, or just changing this to 20 to be sure that it's working, and testing this again, we should get 20 as a result. Okay, so we have 20. We also do have some warnings that we have to check, but this is something in regards to installation of Conda, which is kind of the package manager for Anaconda Python. Anyway, I guess it works. Hopefully you also have now a working Python environment, so we can start learning about Python.